Hello, wonderful people! I've got a few updates for you. For one, I apologize for my long hiatus. I was ill, it's flu season, people get sick, my voice was crap, you didn't want to hear that, so I didn't upload, but now I'm back, thank God. Before I go on with my other updates, if you play on PC, please make sure to check out my Discord server down in the description, because on PC and on Steam, player interaction is not as, good as on console, so for me, it's very lonely playing on PC. I've been playing by myself and I prefer to play with my subscribers, so I would really appreciate it if you check that one out. I think it's a really good platform for communicating with each other, and you can communicate with me directly through that. As we all know, the DLC was out about a month ago for Dark Souls 3. It added at least 3 patches, I believe, so a lot of things changed. And I did a video called The Best Ultra Greatsword, and it had the Astora Greatsword as its number 1, and one of the reasons was because its rolling attack was unparryable and it was considered thrust, and yeah, and a lot of other good things. But now after the patch, they did fix this. It is now actually parryable. I don't know if it's still considered thrust, to be honest. I'm not playing much, or I didn't, play with the Astora Greatsword, but they did fix this aspect. So I don't think now it's number 1. I don't know what's number 1, to be honest. I think now the Black Knight Ultra Greatsword maybe is number 1. I have to really look into that again. Another thing is, I've been working on a lot of videos, and when you do so many things at the same time and you have so many ideas, you get overwhelmed. And when you get overwhelmed, you don't know where to start. So I need your help, guys. I know this is not the usual thing I do, but I'm making the top 10 weapons of Dark Souls 3 soon. So I would love to know your opinion about that. You can list all the 10 weapons you think are best in the comment section below, or you can tell me which one you think is number 1. Another video I need your help with is the top 10 spells of Dark Souls 3. Now, we all know that I have an idea about what are the best weapons. And we know, for example, Karthus Curved Sword might take number 1, even after it got, patched and they fixed the damage a bit on it. I still think it's number 1. However, I want to know your opinions. Also about the top 10 spells, I'm a bit also not sure because it's still 10 spells and I'm one person, you're thousands. So, us together we can conclude it, better and much clearer. I want to know people's opinions about that, put them all together and then give my opinion on that and give a conclusion on that. Other things I need suggestions from you guys is, I want to make a playthrough. I really want to make a playthrough in one of the Souls games. I don't think I want to make Dark Souls 3 playthrough because it's too linear, to be honest, at this point, and I played it too many times recently. So any of the previous games, and in my opinion, I would really love to make a Bloodborne one. I don't know why. And also I would love to make a Dark Souls 3 one. I might make that one too, I don't mind. It depends on on what people want, but I really want to make in-depth playthrough about all the mechanics through the game. And I want to make it also in a certain format. So I would love to hear if you want to see that. Let me know which game. I would love to feature Bloodborne, because if you don't know, it's my favorite game. Although its PvP is the weakest, although my channel suggests that I only play PvP, that's not true at all. PvE is my number 1 priority, of course. Although Dark Souls 2 is the only unique case where I didn't like PvE that much, I loved it, but when you compare it to the others, it's not the same, it doesn't have the same level design, which I love from Dark Souls and Bloodborne. But I did love PvP the most in Dark Souls 2 now. I can see it clearly, even more than 3. Because it has the most depth by far. Like 3 has some of the problems that Bloodborne has, which is, it's all about the spacing. It's all about the spacing, and of course having a plus 10 weapon, and now poise is a big factor. As you can see when you're playing in the arena, there's a lot of Havel monsters, or I don't want to say Havel monsters, but poise is a thing now. Another reason I would love to make Bloodborne as a playthrough is because, first of all, it's a PlayStation 4 exclusive, it's a Sony exclusive, so not everybody who subscribed to me know about the game. It is my favorite Soulsborne game. I'm so passionate about that game. I don't know. It's the only game that replicated Dark Souls 1 experience for me in a new way, even more, much better. And the biggest problem with it is there's not enough of it, man. I really want like 10 more expansions for Bloodborne. And I really love that game. Even the story is the most concrete out of all of them. And another thing that just came into my mind is one of the reasons I love Dark Souls 1. I want to see if you agree with me on that. Is because you couldn't teleport in the beginning of the game. I know a lot of people don't like backtracking, but I think Dark Souls 1 appealed to me a lot is because there are so many ways you can start the game. You can go to the catacombs, and you can go to, to what's his name, the Taurus demon, whatever his name, the first boss. You can skip that boss, go to Havel, go to the garden. There are so many ways you can go about. You can go to New Lawn, the ruins. You can go to Blight Town, the beginning of the game. There's so many ways, and the teleportation thing is a reward you get halfway through the game, which is really genius. And they never ever did that again. It was the only game that was fully interconnected. It didn't have that separate hub. Don't get me wrong, I do like the separate hub, but I do prefer the Dark Souls 1. And that's my opinion. I do prefer also leveling up on the bonfire instead with going back every single time talking to a character to level up, and you'll memorize all her dialogue since every time you have to hear what she says. Now, Hunter's Dream is another thing. Hunter's Dream is a dream, man. I love Hunter's Dream. It's a different one, but I do wish if it was, connected to the world instead of, going back and forth. So yes, guys, let me know which game you want me to do a playthrough for. The most I get in the comments is the game that I will be doing, so it's up to you basically. So if Bloodborne wasn't your choice, I'm fine with that. But if you didn't play Bloodborne and you love the Souls games, you're really missing out on a lot. That's my opinion, of course. Another important thing for the channel is I'm very close to hitting 100,000. So I guess in a week or so, I'll be 100,000. So I am actually working on a 100,000 special video, and I can't wait for that. I want to thank everybody for supporting this channel. I really appreciate it. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. I still don't believe that I'm gonna hit 100,000. But at the same time, also, I'm really thankful. But I'm also happy because that means the community is also growing. And we need that. We need that. Dark Souls is such a special game. And a lot of people see it, and I see it as art. At the same time, I love the mechanics. But I mean, you can have so many different perceptions about the game. People play in many different ways. Some people literally play in a totally different way than another person. Where most games, usually they're so linear that most people do the same thing. I don't know if you know what I mean there, Sorry about my English is a bit limited, but I hope you know what I mean if you played the games. So the final update I have for you is, what's the future of the Dark Souls series? And it's a really tough question to ask, but I'm actually very confident in From Software, since they did prove that they can do other games that are very good other than Dark Souls. Bloodborne is the biggest example. They did a new IP. Sony was the publisher, not Bandai Namco, and yet they were still successful. Actually, Bloodborne is very successful game. The game on Metacritic, I think it's like 9.2, which is very good for a game, especially for a niche game like Bloodborne. So I have plans of playing other games. Now, my next game I want to personally play, it doesn't mean I'm going to be uploading, is Final Fantasy, because Final Fantasy 15, of course, because Final Fantasy was one of the most influential games in my life when I was young. I played 7, 8, 9, 10, didn't play 11 because it was online, 12, I didn't like the combat, played 13 and 13-2, 13-3, I looked at the trailer, I said, screw that, I won't play that. But yeah, Final Fantasy games, and even Kingdom Hearts when I was young, were very important games in my life. My childhood was all revolved around them. So I don't know if I'm going to be uploading about Final Fantasy 15, but there are 2 games I'm planning to upload for this channel in the future, and that is For Honor, which I've been waiting for at least 2 years. I've been watching trailers, looking, always looking at the news on it, because the multiplayer seems very interesting, and it's a bit, it's a shield sword, and medieval times, similar to Bloodborne in a way, or sorry, Dark Souls in a way. So the multiplayer is very appealing. I'm going to be looking into that game. Hopefully I'll be doing weapon reviews and stuff like that if I love it. The number one thing is if I love the game. I have to have passion for the game in order to, to put it in my videos. And the second game is, of course, Neo, which I played fully, the last demo that came out. I played the whole thing. I tried everything that's possible in that. I tried most of the things. I loved that game. It's super brilliant, and it felt like a complete game even though it was a demo. But I can't wait for that game. It's like it's a new style for Souls. I love it. So I'll be also uploading that. I'm looking forward to that one. So there's many things to look forward to for this channel. I'm also very happy that I'm reaching 100,000. I really don't know what to say. Since I'm one person, you're like thousands, and a lot of people send me messages or emails and stuff and telling me how much my channel helped them or how they like my channel, and I really appreciate that. You don't understand, sometimes I can't reply to everyone, but always know that without the community there's no PvPSkillz channel, and that's how it works, and I'm very thankful for that. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to let me know. I know I asked you a lot of requests, but I'll appreciate it if you can at least let me know one of the things you want to see. Alright, have a good weekend, I guess, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.